all of your wonderful presence and blessings. Let's start with prayers. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namne Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam panghum langayate girim Yatkripatamahamvande Paramanandamadhavam Shri Chaitanyamishwaram Shri Gurum Deenatarinam. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Once again, a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. I'm able to see many of you wonderful devotees have turned on your videos. It's very inspiring, right? And even others, if you can turn on, it'll be very nice. Okay, so we are discussing from the Srimad Bhagavatam first canto, third chapter, where the subject matter is about the different avatars, the different kinds of incarnation. So that is the subject matter, right? So let's continue on this journey to discuss more incarnations of Lord. So today we are going to discuss 3 incarnations. We're going to have 14, 15, 16, 3 shlokas. So requesting all devotees to kindly be attentive. All right, 1, 3, 14. Rishibhiriyachito bheje navamam parthivam vapuhu dukte mam oshadhir vipras tenayam sa ushattamaha. Okay, navamam. So now this is the 9th incarnation of Lord. 9th incarnation. Yes, Rishibhiryachite, all the rishis, which means the very elevated personalities who are deeply concerned. Who are rishis? Rishis are those personalities who are very, very deeply concerned with the welfare of the world. They are called as rishis. So such great personalities, they all wanted, because of the great concern that they had for the welfare of the public, they really wanted a good leader, a good king. And who can be the best leader? Krishna. He's the best leader, right? So they all worship Krishna and requested Krishna, please come. Yes, bheje. So accepted. Rishibir yachito bheje. Because of the plea, the prayer of the rishis, the saintly sages, bheje navamam. He accepted the 9. And what is that? Parthivam. Parthivam vapuhu. The Parthiv means the ruler of the earth. What is one of the meanings of earth? Or rather, one of the words, the terminology is used for the earth, Prithvi. But actually, this word Prithvi came because of this personality. His name is Prthu. Yes, it is because of Krishna's incarnation. Now, this is Shakta Veshabda, Bhupalana Shakti. With his power, he ruled the earth. Yes, he is a good leader. What did he do? Dugdhe mam oshadir vipras. Oh, great sages, he, because that at that particular point of time, Mother Earth took the form of a cow. Right, so long past time, we are not having time to discuss. When we get there in the 4th canto, we will know the details. So Mother Earth took the form of a cow, and then she said, I will supply the necessities for everybody. Right? And thus, what did Prthu Maharaj do? Prthu Maharaj, he milked the cow or milked the earth. Dugdhemam oshadi. So all the different products from the earth. Tena ayam sa ushattama. Tena ayam sa ushattama. he did this. Yes. Who would like to read the translation? Anyone? Ushattama means very beautiful and attractive. Yes. Her Grace Bhakti Sundari Mataji can begin.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. O Brahmanas, in the ninth incarnation, the Lord prayed for the sages, who prayed for by the sages, accepted the body of a king, Prthu, who cultivated the land to yield various products, and for that reason, the earth was beautiful, attractive.
He made the earth very beautiful and attractive. Ushattama. Okay. So now Prabhupada will give a brief background. Okay, Daya Maira. You can read the book.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Before the advent of King Prthu, there was great havoc of maladministration due to the vicious life of the previous king, the father of Maharaj Prthu. The intelligent class of men, namely the sages and the brahmanas, not only prayed for the Lord to come down, but also dethroned the previous king. It is the duty of the king to be pious and thus look after the all-around welfare of the citizens. Whenever there is some negligence on the part of the king in discharging his duty, the intelligent class of men must dethrone him. The intelligent class of men, however, do not occupy the royal throne because they have much more important duties for the welfare of the public. Instead of occupying the royal throne, they prayed for the incarnation of the Lord, and the Lord came as Maharaj Prthu. Real intelligent men, or qualified brahmanas, never aspire for political posts. Maharaj Prthu excavated many products from the earth, and thus not only did the citizens become happy to have such a good king, but the complete sight of the earth also became beautiful and attractive. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So before Prthu's grandfather was a very great king called Anga Maharaj. I'm just giving a brief history. Anga Maharaj married the daughter of death. Her name was Sunita, right? And they had a son whose name was Vena. Okay. And usually it is said that the qualities of father go in the daughter and the qualities of mother go in the son. So Sunita was the daughter of the death personified, because of which she had a lot of negative qualities. And those negative qualities went in her son, Vena, who would playfully kill his friends in the games and play that would the child would play, he would kill them. So Anga Maharaj was very, very frustrated with his son and also his wife. Bharya yasya grihe nasti, and it is said, Mata yasya grihe nasti, bharya cha apriyavadini, aranyam tena gantavyam, yataranyam tathagraham. So it is said, this is a particular shloka from the Shastra, which says, Mata yasya grihe nasti, where there is no loving warmth of a mother, bharya cha apriyavadini, and the bharya or the wife is only speaking abusive language. Apriyavadini. She doesn't talk properly. Aranyam tena gantavyam. Such a person should run away to the forest. Why? Yataranyam tathagrah. Because there is no difference between forest and his home. His home has become a forest. Anyway, you can go to forest. So Anga Maharaj was inspired by Paramatma within the heart. And because of that inspiration, he went to the forest. And next day, there was no king. He didn't inform anyone. Because if you inform some people, they will try to stop him. No, no, king, please wait. Your son is still small. So by default, Vena became the ruler, the king. And then what happened was everybody was in fear. Even the thieves and rogues, they were fearful because they knew this king is a very dangerous guy. We cannot do anything wrong because he'll execute us straight. He'll find each and every one of us and execute us. So then they decided not to come out. They were all in hiding. Yes, incognito. So one day, Vena called all the Brahmanas and he told his interpretation of the Shastra. He said the king is called Naradeva. Yes, Naradeva, which means a representative of God. But his interpretation was king is Deva, right? He is Deva, he is God. So build my temples, offer yajnas for my pleasure, give charity to me, and chant my names. So he changed the entire Sutra of Bhakti. And these Brahmanas were absolutely frustrated with him. They tried to give him some good advice, but he was not willing to listen. So they all just gave a himkar. Himkar is They just spoke like this. They just let out this particular cry, as a result of which Vena was dead. But as soon as Vena was dead, the thieves and rogues were in hiding. They came back. So what did they do? Is they decided that this is a very pious line, because ultimately they are all descendants of Dhruv Maharaj, and Dhruv Maharaj is such a great devotee of Lord. So definitely there will be some kind of good remnants from this person Vena. So they churned his body, and there was a Nishad Raj, who came out. He was a short blackish man, and that was a personification of all the sinful activities of Vena. So he ran away to the forest and he started ruling the thieves and rogues. And then they said, okay, first let's purify him. So they purified, and now with the purificatory process, then they churned, and then came Prthu and Arji, who were a couple. So they came about. So this is the history, right? So one great lesson we find here is the kings were never ever independent. The kings would always rule as subordinates to the Brahmanas. They would take advice and guidance from Brahmanas, and then they would learn from them how to rule the public, and they would rule. In fact, as soon as a Brahmana would come to the kingdom, like Dasharath Maharaj, as soon as Vishwamitra Muni came to the court of Dasharath Maharaj, what did Dasharath Maharaj do? He was Chakravarti Samrat. He ruled the entire earth. So he offered his kingdom directly in charity to Vishwamitra. That's it. He just offered it in charity. And then Vishwamitra Muni came and sat on the throne. And he gave some good advice. And because the Brahmanas are not attached to kingdom, he got down and gave back. He returned the kingdom back to Dasharath Maharaj. So kings were so charitable and Brahmanas were so detached. They never wanted to be kings. Even one day, Prabhupada disciples, they told Prabhupada, we will conquer over the whole world and you will become the king of the world. The Krishna consciousness will conquer the world and you will become the king. Prabhupada said, I don't want to be the king. I want to be the guru of the king. This is the Brahman. I want to be guru of the king. Right? So that's another lesson that we learn. It's very important to not have corrupt leadership. Corrupt leadership is the root cause of havoc that's created in the human society. And it is the duty of Brahmanas. Brahmanas ideally should have this power to dethrone a corrupt king. Yes. So we find this here. And what did Prthu Maharaj do? Prthu Maharaj, he made the earth beautiful again, with all the different herbs, flowers, vegetables, and greenery. It was a very wonderful scene. And earth got a name, Prithvi, meaning the daughter of Prthu. That's the name she got. And even the people were all very happy. They were very happy. He's an ideal leader. In fact, the section of Prthu Maharaj, every section of Srimad Bhagavatam has a Falashruti. What's the meaning of Falashruti? Falashruti means you read this truth. And the Falashruti of Prthu Maharaj's section is that anyone who reads this section will become very powerful, influential leader. So there is one country, I'll not name which country, they have so much faith in Bhagavatam, not India. It's another country. They have more faith in Bhagavatam, so they constantly read the Prthu Maharaj section in order to become the rulers. So they want that power and dominion. Anyways, let's go to the next shloka. So we saw 9 incarnations so far. Now here's the 10th one. Rupam sajagre matsyam chakshushodadi samplave navya aropya mahyam apad vaivatsvatam manum. Sachidanand Prabhu, your hand was up. You can read. Sachidanand Prabhu? Okay. Priya Mataji can read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, go ahead.
Translation. When there was a complete inundation after the period of Chakshasa Manu, and the whole world was deep within water, the Lord accepted the form of a fish and protected Vaivasvata Manu, keeping him up on a boat.
Yes. So this complete inundation means what? It means Pralay Kal. So this was the time of Pralay. Actually, Pralay is not scheduled at this time. There are only 4 types of Pralay that happen. The first Pralay is called Nitya Pralay, which means constantly there is destruction in this world, in this whole material world. Our bodies are getting destroyed, every element is getting destroyed. Atomic level, there is destruction. That's called as Nitya Pralay. The second Pralay is called as Naimittika Pralay. This Naimittika Pralay happens after the end of Brahma's day. In the night, everything is static and stationary. The third Pralay is called as Prakritik Pralay. That is when the entire material world, all the universes of material world enter back into the body of Mahavishnu. That is called as Prakritik Pralay. And the fourth Pralay is the most important. It's called Atyantik Pralay, which means by the practice of Krishna consciousness. Jarayati Ashuya Kosham Jigirno Analoyata. By the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, practice of Krishna consciousness, the subtle body is destroyed. It's burnt off. That's called as Atyantik Pralay. And that's the Pralay devotees want. Destroy the subtle body and thus attain the kingdom of God. Destroy the false ego. So what is this Pralay then? This Pralay happened, Acharya has mentioned, because Brahmaji kind of fell sleepy. How many of you feeling sleepy in Bhagavatam right now? Anybody? Yes, nobody. You're all attentive. Very good devotees. Yes, otherwise, many times when Bhagavatam class starts, even Nidra Devi comes. Yes, she also comes and listens to the class. And then devotees are feeling sleepy. Yes, and especially video is off. Oh, we can sleep so nicely. Nobody's going to watch. Yes, so like that. She also comes. So Brahmaji felt a little sleepy pranay happen. See, slight negligence, slight inattention on the part of leader can cause a havoc in the whole project. You understand? So how attentive a leader should be. So that's what happened. So Brahmaji was feeling a bit sleepy. So that is when the water rose up. Yes. So that time what happened? It's a huge story. I'm not going to say the whole thing because it's very exciting. This is the last chapter of the 8th chapter, 24th chapter. So this particular chapter says that Matsya, I'll show you the picture of how Matsya was. So Matsya had approached Satyavrat, had a playful pastime, and the Matsya said, Satyavrat Maharaj, please don't worry. I'll personally come. Vasuki will be the rope. Vasuki will be the rope. There'll be a boat that I will send. You sit on the boat. Satyavrat Maharaj becomes the next Manu. That's why he had to be saved. He was the next Manu. Why was Swata Manu? So this pastime happened in Chakshush month, the 6th month. And this Manvantra change, this pastime mainly happened because Brahmaji fell a little bit sleepy. So and along with him, he also carried the Saptarishi. The Saptarishis were also there. They're very important. They are the ones who teach the spiritual knowledge. So the next, save the Saptarishi and save all the seeds and herbs, which will be helpful to plant in the next Manvantra. So he carried everything, whatever is necessary. He was well trained. Right? And that's how Matsya Avatar saved everybody. And this particular pastime is remembered. Okay. Who would like to read? Sachidanand Prabhu, Aishwarya Mataji. Who would like to read? Purport? Okay. You can read, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. According to Sripada Sridhara Swami, the original commentator on the Bhagavatam, there is not always a devastation after the change of every Manu. And yet, this inundation after the period of Chakshusha Manu took place in order to show some wonders to Satyavrata. But Sri Jiva Goswami has given definite proofs from authoritative scriptures like the Vishnu Dharmottara, Markandeya Purana, Harivamsa, etc., that there is always a devastation after the end of each and every Manu. Sri Vishwanatha Chakravarti has also supported Srila Jiva Goswami, and he, Sri Chakravarti, has also quoted from the Bhagavatamrita about this inundation after each Manu. Apart from this, the Lord, in order to show special favor to Satyavrata, a devotee of the Lord, in this particular period, incarnated himself. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
He actually played with Satya. Satyavrat was performing his Gayatri. Oh, like this. Suddenly he came in the form of a small golden fish. Krishna came in that form. And he said, Maharaj, please give me shelter. Bigger fishes will eat. He said, all right, I'll create a small bowl for you. You can stay. But immediately he grew big in size. And he said, this bowl is not enough for me. I need more space. He said, all right, I'll create a tank for you. You've seen aquarium? Something like that. So then as soon as the fish was put in aquarium, immediately grew in size. He said, when this is not enough, come on, give me something more. So then he made a big pond, huge pond. I think here you'll be happy. But again he grew in size. And he said, come on, this is also not enough. You belong to the sea. So the golden fish was taken and again put back in the sea. Then he said, you cannot be some ordinary fish. You definitely are somebody special. Who are you? Then he reveals, I am your worshipable Lord, Matsya. Right? Matsya. So this way we understand that how Matsya Avatar had this very special dealing with his devotee Satyavrat, who was about to assume a very big responsibility to become the next Manu, Vaivasvat Manu. Okay. So that was about Matsya Avatar. Next. The next avatar is 11th. Let us see if you can guess this. Okay. Please guess. You all should try to guess. It's only pure Sanskrit. Sura Suranam Udadin Matnatam Mandarachalam Dadre Kamata Rupena Preshta Ekadashe Vibuhu. 3 seconds. You have to see some keyword and try to find out who is this. All right. Anybody? You could find out who is this personality? Yes. One answer is there. Let me see if somebody else wants to say something. Okay, there's only one answer, and that is the right answer. Haribo. It's Kurmadev. Yes, it is Kurmadev. So what did Kurmadev do? Sura Asuranam Udadim in the ocean. Sura and Asura. What did they do? Matnatam. They performed this activity of churning. Mandara Achal. Mandarachal. Yes, so they brought Mandarachal. That was a peak, the mountain peak. They brought that, and that they Kamata Rupa. Kamata Rupa is the form of a turtle. Kamata Rupa. And the turtle was holding this particular rod, churning rod, in order to prevent it from sinking. And thus he was experiencing a very nice massage. How many of you like it very much if somebody scratches your back? People say, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. They say this, right? So he was experiencing this great pleasure, a nice massage, back massage. So for that purpose, this whole pastime happened. Of course, the byproduct of the pastime was Amrita, or the nectar that was manifested through this. Prishta Ekadashe Bhu Prishthe, the form of Kamata Rupena Prishthe, shell Ekadashi, 11th, the great incarnation. Okay, please raise hand if somebody wants to read. I'll give a chance to those who haven't read. We'll give chance to Sachidanand Prabhu. Where are you? Yeah, please read. Please unmute and read.
The 11th incarnation of the Lord took form of a tortoise, whose shell served as a pivot for the Mandrachal hill, which was being used as a churning rod by the fifth and axis of the universe.
Yes, Sura, Asura, both of them. There. Purport, somebody wants to read? Bhakti Sundari Mata.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Once, both the atheist and the theist were engaged in producing nectar from the sea so that all of them could become deathless by drinking it. At that time, the Mandrachala hill was used as the churning rod, and the shell of the Lord Tortoise, the incarnation of Godhead, became the resting place pivot of the hill in the seawater.
Yes. Because this Mandarachal was a churning rod, but churning rod needs a stable platform how to rest. Otherwise, the mountain was drowning in the milk ocean. This was done in the milk ocean, Chirisad. Yes, that is where this pastime is on the Bhumandala. Yes, this Bhumandala is the entire earthly planetary system. There are 7 types of ocean. Lavana Sagar, salty water, sugar water. There is sugar cane juice. There is sugar water. There is ocean of liquor. There is ocean of ghee. Like there's many oceans are there. And one of them is the ocean of milk. Right? So that is where this Samudra Manthan Leela happened. So the whole plan was given by the Lord. The whole plan, how to, what to do exactly to produce the nectar. And the demigods had full faith in the Lord. And it was Lord's advice that you will also need the help of Asuras. So bring them also. So they did it together. It was a collaborative project. Right? So Kurma Avatar. Kurma is the deity who is put in Bhumi Pujan. Whenever we do Bhumi Pujan for our temples, a Kurma Dev deity is established in the foundation, who is holding up the temple. Kurma we established. And even if you see this whole universe, yes, this whole universe rests on Meru Parvat, who is a part of the earthly planet. And this earth is held by 8 Diggajas. Dig means direction, Gaja means elephants. So 8 elephants who are facing the 8 directions. North, south, east, west, northwest, southwest, northeast and southeast. Like that. So they're facing the 8 directions. These Diggajas. And these Diggajas are held on top of the hood of Anantadev. So Anantadev, who is the bed of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, is holding the Diggajas. And Anantadev is being held by Kurma. So ultimately, Kurma is holding the entire universe. The whole universal structure is held by Kurma Dev. So to Kurma, we pray for stability. We pray for stability in our bhakti because he's the one who holds us. Right? So Kurma, we pray for stability and steadiness in our devotion service. That is a blessing that Kurma Dev gives. Also, there is a pastime of Bhaktivedanta Thakur. So Bhaktivedanta Thakur's son, Bimala Prasad, who later on goes on to become Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So Bimala Prasad was 6 years old. So that is the time his father gifted him a Kurma deity to worship him. And till the end of his life, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur worshipped him, Kurma deity. Yes. And anyone who worships or remembers Kurma becomes very stable. Okay, so we'd like to pause here and open for any kinds of questions. Any questions, discussions that you want to take, you can have. Comments, you're open. Yes, dear devotees. Praise Bhakti Sundari Mataji. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, thank you so much for the wonderful class. You covered so many points regarding Pralaya and different incarnations. So, Prabhuji, during Matsya Avatar carried all these herbs and other assets of the Prithvi Devi. So, what happens in other avatar? Means at the change of the Manu, it happened at the change of the Manu, right?
Yes.
So, what happens when other Manus are changing at that time? Who carry all these things? Means how they are preserved?
Yeah. See, there are one thing we need to understand is Lord does the same pastime in different ways. So, like for example, when there is a transfer from Swayambhuva Manu to the next Manu, so that time Priyavrat Maharaj's children become the Manus, right? And as far as my reading of the Shastra is concerned, we don't hear much of the Manvantara period changing and their pralay happening. Of course, Jiva Goswami is giving proof that it happens, but it doesn't happen for a very long duration. It's not a very long duration pralay. Usually, pralay happens at least for one night of Brahma, but that much time is not there for pralay. So, in my humble knowledge, this is only one particular pastime where the Manu is actually being protected by the Lord, Matsya. And Matsya Avatar happens, he incarnates, if you see the 8th canto 24th chapter. As such, how it is inspired is there's a pastime of Vamana, and Vamana grew in size. So Shukadev Maharaj himself was inspired. There's one more incarnation of Lord who grew in size. That is the Matsya Avatar. So if you see, there is one more purpose for which Matsya Avatar comes. Yes. So Matsya Avatar even comes to save the Vedas. Yes. So one thing is the Vedas were stolen by a demon called Shankasura. So Krishna comes as Matsya Avatar and kills the demon and he saves the Vedas. So this happens in another time. Right. So different times Lord comes as Matsya. And usually Pralay Kal, Pralay is associated with the water. Yeah, the water level rise. That is when Matsya is coming. That's all we hear. Other Manvantara changes, if you see, majorly Manvantara is dealt in 8th canto. So we don't find the changes mentioned so much. Yeah, we don't find that.
Okay. So, Prabhuji, means it is not like at the end of Manvantara, everything is destroyed.
No, no. No, there is a partial inundation, which means the water level rises, then it's gone back. But yes, in this case, Lord wanted Satyavat to perform something, some service for him. So he tells to get everything, get hold of everything. Yeah. Usually Manvantara change, there is no destruction.
Okay. Okay. Got
Okay.
it, Prabhuji. Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Raise Dayamai Radhanath.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I have
Yes.
a question for you because I've also heard that Vena also became evil because King Anga did not have a son for many, many years. And so he prayed to the rishis. He did, I think, special austerities. And it's because he had a past sinful life. That's why he didn't have a son. But it's kind of like you have to have a child in order for you and your forefathers kind of to be delivered. So I wanted to ask you about that side as well, because it was not only his wife that ended this way. He
It was
wasn't
not in
destined
his
to have a
karma.
son.
Yes. It's not, there's not mentioned in the Bhagavatam, but there is a version like that where he did not have son. So he said, a bad son is better than no son. He said, a blind uncle is better than no uncle. So, yeah. I have also heard this, but I'm not sure from where. What is the source of this? That's why I did not quote it.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Sorry, I think I heard it in another lecture, so thank you for that.
Yes,
And
yes.
then could I also ask you, you said Satyavrata Maharaj on a boat, he had the herbs, he had the Saptarishis. How did he know what to keep on the boat? Or where
Lord
which is
educated
his
him.
destiny?
Lord
The
educated
Lord.
him. Yes.
Okay.
A king is educated in all these things.
Okay. Thank you.
In fact, a king, a samrat or a ruler, a Rajarishi, he's supposed to have the eight kinds of mystic powers also. Yeah. There are different 14 qualifications of who is a Rajarishi. Right. And yes, he has all the 8 mystic powers. He's supposed to cultivate. And there's a lot of training required for the king. So the king is also trained in agriculture and many more things so that he knows what is used.
Thank you.
I'll just take one online question before going to Sachidananda. What is the exact meaning of mental speculation? Could you please explain with some examples? Oh, very nice. So one day, devotees were distributing Bhagavad Gita, right? And then one of the person asked, so you read Bhagavad Gita? He asked the devotees. They said, yes. Tell me, when is the birthday of Arjuna? Of course, Arjuna's birthday is on Falgun Purnima. But these devotees did not know. So they said, we don't know. Said, you see, you read the Gita, but you don't know when is Arjuna's birthday. Krishna says in the 4th chapter, he says, Bahuni me vetitani janmani tavacharjuna. Oh Arjuna, your birth is on 4th of June. Of course, this is called mental speculation. Arjuna's birthday is on 4th June. Then one person asked devotees for tea. And devotee said, no, we don't take tea and coffee. So this person said, Krishna himself tells to take the tea. Right? What is that? Sarvasya chaham pritisanni vishto. So Krishna is telling you should take cha. Chai means your tea. And how you should take? On the stove. You should cook on the stove. You should boil it and take it. So this is all called as mental speculation. Getting it right? So people try to understand Shastras in their own way rather than purport of the Acharya. That is called mental speculation. Okay? I know some Sanskrit, so I will only give some meaning. I'll interpret in some. So we should not give our own interpretation and become an Acharya. Right? For example, somebody may say, oh, just like Bhakti Sundari Mataji asked a good question. So one mental speculator, how is it? Just like Satyavrat was protected, Matsya will come in every manvantra and protect. Otherwise, what will happen to the Manu and the Saptarishis? Who will protect them? No, this is the only. No, many times the great sages, they know what to do. Markandeya. You know how Markandeya used to protect himself from Pralay? He survived 7 days of Brahma. How? He used to go to Jagannath Puri. Jagannath Puri, there's a Rohini Kund inside the Sri Mandir. From there, the water of the Pralaya will start. But that nothing happens to Jagannath Puri Dham. So many great sages go and take shelter of Jagannath Puri Dham. Nothing happens to them. There's another way of getting protected from Pralaya. So there are so many ways in which one can save oneself. They can go to Maharlok. Maharlok is actually burnt. It faces fire, so they go to Janalok. So that way they can get protected from Pralaya. So there are so many ways. Yes, so many ways. Okay. Sachidananda, your question.
After 74 Yuga, one Manvantar is changed, as I know. So, in Brahmaji day is 1004 Yuga.
Okay, I'll explain.
In night,
Oh, yeah, continue. Please continue. Unmute and continue.
in night also there is Manvantar.
I'll tell you. I will explain in mathematical terms. You all can see the mathematics. Okay. So, Satya, Treta, Dwapar, Kali. These 4 are equal to one Divya Yuga. It's also called as Chatur Yuga because Chatur means 4. And 1000 Chatur Yugas is equal to 12 hours of Brahma. What is a Manvantara? Out of this, 71 to 72. 71 to 72 Chaturyugas is equal to 1 Manvantara. Right. And in the 12 hours of Brahma, there are 14 months. So 12 hours of Brahma is called day. Similarly, 12 hours is night. This is explained in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So night time, there is no creation. Everybody, it's all silent, no activity. It's a lockdown. COVID time, what we experience, same thing, lockdown. Nothing happens. Okay, so it's time now. We will pause here. I wish to thank you all very much for your very enthusiastic participation and attendance in the Bhagavatam class. And I invite you all to please keep coming like this so that we get an opportunity to serve all. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna Srila Prabhupada, Jai Granthra Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. So who all have come? Sachidanand Prabhu, Jai Maharaja Prabhu,